Okay, so today's inspiration came from an article on Inman. Um, it is a real estate blog or real estate information service, and I was reading through, and it was seven highly effective traits of a real estate agent. It was taken from Seven Highly Effective Traits by Stephen Covey. And one of them struck me. It was be proactive. And I think that I have a habit of a lot of times being reactive to whatever it is that is coming up. There's a fire, there's an emergency, and I react. And that's the way that I've been functioning, is under this premise of waiting to put out fires and instead of being proactive. And what I found is that in my life it creates more stress. And I start freaking out. I get this pit in my stomach all the time. Oh my gosh, I've got this problem, I've got that problem. Or even I'm just waiting for another problem to come up instead of getting out in front of it. And then not only that, but when that problem arises, I lose time. Time is my most precious resource. It is the thing that, well, I waste more of. It's the thing that I want more of. It is the thing that I can use to leverage my life. Time is important. And when I'm putting out fires, when I'm responding to perceived emergencies and running around, I lose time. So I was thinking about, how do I be more proactive? Number one, I need to anticipate problems, put myself into other people's shoes, figure out what questions they might have, figure out what issues might come up along the way. And then proactively, what's great is 9 times out of 10, if you communicate with someone, they're going to be understanding of the situation. They're going to know what is acceptable and what is not. Case in point, I had a friend, he was on Facebook recently, and he's a graphic designer. He's a freelance graphic designer, and he posted, hey everybody, your client doesn't care how long the project takes. All they care is that it gets done and done well. And I had to add this caveat. I said, listen, that's a great point. However, you need to communicate. You need to communicate, hey, this is what's going on. This is when, this is where I'm at in the process. If you do that, people don't sit around and wonder and wait. It's like my voicemail. My voicemail, when you call me, says, hi, my name's Matthew Parsons. You've reached phone of Matthew Parsons with Keller Williams Realty. And today is Monday, and I'll be returning calls at 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4:30. And I put these parameters in because if I just say, I'll call you back as soon as I can, they don't know when that is. They might be in mentally sitting by the phone waiting for that call. So I'm proactive and say, here is when I will be calling you back. So, number one, anticipate the problems and communicate with people in advance. Be proactive about it. Second thing is to create systems, right? Create systems that avoid problems. A lot of problems are common things that we deal with, or they're common things that we might deal with. Me as a real estate agent, I have problems that I deal with on a regular basis. Now, they're new to the customer, and that's part of what makes it an emergency. That's part of what makes it a fire. So if I go back and I look at previous problems and things that have come up, then what I can do is I can also look at the previous communications I had with a person over that issue and take those things and put them into a system. And then if I've got a system, I can go ahead and I can fire off that email at this time and says, hey, here's a problem that comes up, here's how we deal with it, and the person has the knowledge in advance, and I don't lose time. So if I look at my previous problems, I look at my previous solutions, and I look at my previous communications, I can create a system that will allow me to be proactive and not reactive. Last but not least is categorize. Categorize things as they come in. Too often, something comes in and it's an emergency to the person who's asking. But is it really? Again, we're going back to my voicemail. I'll leave the message that says, hey, leave a message, and if it's an emergency, you can try texting me. Well, it's amazing the things that are emergencies to people that are not. Hey, when does this have to be done? Well, this has to be done sometime in the next month. Well, then why are you blowing me up with text messages today? So, number one, Anticipate problems. Number two, create systems that deal with those common problems. And then number three, categorize stuff as it comes in. Is it an emergency? Hey, I will get back with you sometime in the next 24 hours to go over this issue. So there you go. There's your daily minute for today on being proactive in business.